CMPRadio.net. JR Kicks, Keys to Success. Another Monday night, another hot topic. As always, I'm with my guys. VP of Business Development, Ron Alexander.
Yeah.
VP of Operation, Andrew Nelson.
Good evening, good evening.
Of course, VP of Audio, DJ Naj B.
Yeah.
And me, Mr. JR Kicks. Man, tonight we talking about, man, getting rid of the distractions. You trying to be successful, man, there's be a whole lot of distractions, a whole lot of obstacles, a whole lot of things that try to keep you from where you're trying to get to. So you gotta know how to get out of those distractions, weave around them, jump over them, crawl underneath them, whatever you gotta do, man, to get out of the way of them. Always, man, my guys gonna help me with this topic. Fellas, what y'all think, man, getting rid of these distractions?
So, I never really been big on gardening much in my life, right? But I disagree with that statement. But I learned a lesson about pruning a plant once. And the cool thing about it was they were explaining on how it's important to prune off the bad pieces of the plant so that the plant can in turn grow stronger. And when I sat there and analyzed it, I was like, so that sounds a lot like you're cutting off the bad parts, right? So that way you can, in turn, use your resources better to grow more. And I think that distractions are like those bad parts. You gotta prune them. When you prune those distractions, you become a little bit more focused. So now that same hour that you're working, maybe you might not accomplish X amount of percent, but now if you're not as distracted, you're gonna be a lot more efficient. So I mean, I think that's the gist of it in the beginning. But then, I got a couple twists that we can throw in there.
So what's deemed a distraction?
Exactly. See, now we're talking, right? So I would say you got your tangible distractions like the money in the cars in the clothes. But then
Garden tools.
But then on the other hand, I feel like there's internal distractions too that you got to watch out for, especially in business, right? Like you never know what's going on in your house, how it's going to affect your decision making, right? So you can give an example where, say you got some kind of family issues going on, and at the same time you got this big negotiation about to go down. You got to actually make sure that your head is in the game. And it's hard to juggle the two and balance. You got to come in with your poker face, ready to go, but at the same time you're distracted. You know what I mean? So how do you decipher that invisible ink when your head ain't in the game?
I think a home distraction is the hardest distraction to shake in business.
Definitely.
No argument.
Definitely. When you're dealing with so much on the home front, man, it literally puts you in a headspace that you really can't do nothing until you situate that situation at home. Because no matter what you do, that distraction is constantly there. I mean, when it's on the home front, because the majority of the time, if you're not working at the office as an entrepreneur, a lot of times you're doing a lot of your work at home. You know what I mean? Until you get to that point where as though it's going into the office every day, but until you get it to that point, you working from the crib. So if your distractions is at the crib, man, a lot of times it's going to take you longer. It's going to prolong projects. It's going to have you inefficient on a lot of different things that you normally know that you're efficient on. But that home front, man, if that thing is in an uproar, it could definitely put you in a different headspace that you don't want to be in as an entrepreneur.
So what do you do to navigate through that though, right? Because that's the reality of life. Sometimes in business, your home ain't gonna always be as stable as you would like it to be. You know what I mean? That's a real life scenario, a real life situation that's gonna come up with, and you can't necessarily prune that off, because it is home.
Yeah, honestly,
so what?
Well, honestly, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know I gotta put myself in a blonder, don't worry about it right now type of headspace. I gotta literally block everything out. Whatever I'm going through, when I walk through that door and I even feel like I'm gonna go through it, I just gotta block it out. I mean, I don't care if I put my headphones on in my ear, grab my laptop, my iPad, my note. I mean, you know, and just go at it, and you know, just like literally pay the distractions no attention. But if I feel as though if that's the way it's going, that's how I'm going into it. That's me personally. I mean, I'm not saying that gotta be everybody else way of how they do it, but you know, that's what I gotta do in order for me to get what I'm trying to, you know what I mean, get done or do what I need to do.
So you ignore it.
Yeah, I got to. I gotta ignore it, because if I let it rent any space in my head, it's taking me off of what I need to do. I'm not in the game now. And a lot of times as an entrepreneur, man, you gotta be in the game and you gotta stay in the game.
Right.
Because for real, one wrong move, one false move, one mismove, man, and it can make you or break you. And them distractions, man, they can be catastrophic more than you think that they are in the long run, because you missed out on something that you could have took advantage of that could have helped you get to that next level. But because you was focused on that distraction, you missed the opportunity, and so much more.
Well, let me ask you this though: like, Stephen Covey and his the traits of highly successful people, 7 of them. The 7th trait is sharpening the sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he gave the illustration about the dude who was like busting his ass the whole time in his forest, chopping down trees.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy walks up to him while he sees the dude sweating, chopping these trees down, and he says to him, he's like, "Hey man, look, you should really take a break and sharpen your sword." Mm-hmm. And the dude was like, "I don't got time for that." And what he failed to realize was, had he have taken that little bit of time out in that break to sharpen his sword, the sword would have got sharper. He'd have had to use less strokes, right? He wouldn't have been as tired, and he'd have got more trees down. So in that same manner, I understand, like, for a certain amount of time with that headspace, you gotta ignore it and shut it out and get on go mode. But at what point do you stop and sharpen that sword? Because it's only a matter of time as an entrepreneur before, if you ain't taking care of home, if you ain't taking care of these issues, you can only do them blinders for but so long.
Mm-hmm.
And if the foundation ain't right, the house come crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
So
eventually you got to take care of it. You know what I mean? But like I said, in that moment, I ignore it until I get what I'm trying to get done. After I accomplish that, or after that's done, then I'll go back and revisit it. But at that moment, there's no distractions to me.
right.
What about y'all? How y'all handle it?
So I kind of I do a play on efficiency where I definitely cut out a lot of distractions. I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I more so listen to music. And then that allows me to do other stuff when I'm doing. But then, using good distractions. Like, so for example, if I know I'm having a bad day, I might be like, you know what? I'm going to spend the next hour and just go laugh and run around and play and joke with my kids. That good distraction might give me just enough energy that I need to get remotivated, remind me of what my core is while I'm out here grinding. And then, it's like a little bit of refreshing.
It's like an intermission.
Yeah, more or less. So I kind of, I do that. Like, I feel like if I take care and tackle it while it's small, you know what I mean, before it gets to a bigger point to where I can't bear it or where I got to worry about trying to focus on one thing, I try to just handle it there.
What about you, Nash?
I'm with Drew. I don't really watch TV like that. Maybe a weekend or a Sunday, but early. I try not to let that be the bulk of my day. I have a planner, which I don't use, but I go in every day and just try to. I wake up every day, man, and I know I got to do something. Aside from going to my job, or I know Tuesday I got a DJ and Thursday I got a DJ and stuff like that, man. But just trying to accomplish stuff along the way. So eventually, like you say, you gotta take them blinders off or whatever like that. But I feel like as long as you're accomplishing something like along the way, like you don't gotta be. That's like they be saying like I don't sleep. I'm up. Success. I'm always I'm grinding.
Money never sleep.
whatever like that, man. But you know, like
yeah, keep lying to yourself, dog. You sleep.
case in point, man. I DJ 7 times this past week, man. On top of going to work, man. So Sunday, you know, I'm at the end of the, you know what I mean? I'm at the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I woke up this morning, I called out, man. I was like, you know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how I kept trying to push myself with the work crashed on the road or something like that.
Wouldn't have been no good.
So, you got to take that time, man. It's all about balance at the end of the day. And distractions are only what you let them be, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to Sharp still. He brought up a good point. There's nothing wrong with watching television. You can learn from all types of avenues if your business is that. I mean, if your business and your end is your passion, if it's a lifestyle, at some point, nothing can get in your way.
Yeah, no doubt. Watching documentaries and all that.
Right,
but, you know,
absolutely.
If you watch the nonsense shows, something that ain't really important in your life. Like, if
Right.
you just, Empire's 8 seasons out. So you watching all the 8 seasons of Empire, like.
Right. You wasting your life.
Yeah.
But you know what? I watched The Big Short, and that joint motivated me. That's why I got my MBA. Like, that was like, I watched that movie, I was like, yep.
What's that?
That's the movie. It's a movie called The Big Short, and what they did was they highlighted the financial crash.
Who's always watching movies nobody knows?
Right.
Seriously.
That's what I do, baby. You know what I mean? If I don't know, who will? You gotta get out here and get this information.
You're right.
I'm trying to be Mr. Google one day.
You're right, man.
But so it's they highlighted the stock market crash and explained on how they just repackaged mortgage-backed securities, right? So they took a whole collective bunch of trash mortgages that they know wouldn't pass, put them all together, called it diversification, and sold it, and made money off of it. And then what they did was they shorted the market. So they was like, yo, I guarantee you these stocks are gonna fail because they knew it was trash
Netflix.
mortgages. Huh?
Netflix.
Absolutely.
Sound like the Wolf of Wall Street. A little
It's
bit.
very similar to that.
All right, so how did that motivate you to go back to school?
No, to go get my MBA
Right.
because I needed to understand what the hell they was talking about,
Ah,
right? So now, you know, when you sit there and you watch me, like where I'll say like, this is something or this is something when I do that. See, before when I watched that movie, I was like, but I ain't know none of it, right? Now you go back and watch it again, it's a whole different meaning. So it motivated me to get there to go do that. I was like, yo, because I want to figure out how they made this money and know how it works. Well, the sad part is it was really luck. You know, they just happened to stumble upon something. So you can't really duplicate it.
What is yours?
I actually welcome distractions, man.
And why is that?
It opens up creativity. Like even in bad situations, I see good.
Right.
So sometimes it depending on how you feel, you mug things in the face and deal with it later. Other than that, yeah, I take it head on, man. Take it head on. Sometimes the distraction only lasts a moment,
Right.
opposed to longer than you may think and all that.
Mm.
So I just take it head on. I deal with the distraction and then I get back to business.
So you feel like it's growth in your distractions.
Yeah.
What about distraction as a motivation? You know what I mean? Like
That's
it's been a few times in my life I've been motivated.
If your
by
home life
distractions.
is messed up, it make you go harder. You're like, I'm about to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Honestly, for real, all the distractions that I can say I've encountered motivated me to be, I mean, more than what I was
Right.
before I started going through that distraction. So I would say, you know, that's a big thing. I mean, if you're able to use your distraction as motivation,
Right.
you know what I mean, and turn it into, I mean, you know, progress and and benefit from it. So, you know, me personally, that's always been my experience. I'm one of them people, like, I love to prove not only myself wrong but people wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean, because when I prove it to myself wrong, it's like, you know, man, I didn't think that I could do that, and then I end up doing it. But when I prove the, you know what I mean, the people wrong, it's like, it's even, you know what I mean, bitter, you know what I mean, bittersweet to me, because not only did I, you know what I mean, do it for me, but I seen so many people that didn't believe in me that now they got to pay homage to what I done done.
The motivation. Them telling me what I could not be.
Yeah, we gotta count how many times you use Jay-Z.
Every
Yeah.
day.
Every day. It's never gonna change. You know what I mean? It's
Ain't
true every day.
Like the quote say, the best revenge is maximum success, man.
Absolutely.
So I let the success speak, man. So on top of the distractions, what do y'all feel about having a positive attitude, like the power of a positive attitude? Do you feel like that brings you more, positivity in your life when you got a positive attitude?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
you're optimistic at that point.
Yeah. So it's like that's that concept where it's like you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I know today is gonna be a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And because you know today is gonna be a bad day, you lay in the bed an extra 2 minutes getting yourself motivated. Them extra 2 minutes is the time that you needed to get done what you needed to get done. So now you forgot something. And like it just goes a chain effect, and then at the end of the day, you like, see, I knew. But it's really you. You did it. You made that day bad. You spoke it into existence.
Right.
And then every decision you made from that point going forward was with your own bias of how you already feel that this day is gonna be. Shorty could cough and you catch the tail end of it and was like, what's she growling at me for? Now you get into an argument with her.
Like,
In your mind, you know she was wrong because she said she had no business growling at you. Whole time you missed the call.
Now you fighting in
Now you fighting in
Starbucks.
Now you can't even get your latte because they put you out. You know what I mean? Now you mad. I ain't had my coffee. Everybody just irking you. It's a bad day.
Get to work late, and now your boss getting on your nerves because they said something to you about
Right.
being late.
Right.
But it's your fault because
Right.
you late because you got into the fight at Starbucks.
Right, and the response was gonna be like, look, you don't even know the morning that I had. First of all, the traffic was late. This lady growled at me in Starbucks like I wasn't supposed to do something, and then you just run it back. And I'm like, yo, that sounds like a horrible day.
It's just a domino effect.
And you was responsible for it all. Now, in the same manner, they teach in a TED Talk that I watched that before you go into an intense situation, how you prepare yourself right before that moment is how you're gonna perform. So they taught like these things standing in power poses or whatever. So like it's something to your energy. You go there, you stand there, you smile, and you say to yourself,
Did that the Brave event?
yeah, I'm about to kill this, right? Like I'm about to do everything about it. It's about to go in my favor. This is my world. You go in thinking in that perspective, everything you move in that perspective, you're gonna feel in control of the situation, ahead of the game, that internal locus of control, boom. So I think that has everything to do with it.
Naj, what's your take on
Yeah,
it?
definitely. Man, I'm gonna try. Basically, in my DJ perspective, I treat every gig the same, man. No matter what it is, no matter if it's paid or volunteer or whatever like that. You know, I gotta do what I gotta do, and that's how I get the next one. And that's basically how I started, man. I wasn't, you get a couple calls here and there, and then now I'm booked and busy. You feel me? But that was all attitude, man, and just, you know what I'm saying, staying persistent with that mentality. You know, I'm gonna go do this gig. I'm gonna do a great job. Somebody gonna ask me for my card. You know, somebody gonna book me, and they do. They usually
Right.
do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the party pop, like Jamaican clubs.
Now, Ron, what's your take? Party popping the Jamaican club.
Like Jamaican clubs.
This boy is hilarious, man.
Yeah, Bell, he different on this show.
he on the bean tonight.
Man, listen.
But yeah, I think it's also like some of the energy that you keep around you.
Absolutely.
Like if say I'm having a bad day, you know what I'm saying, nothing's going right. I'm that guy that laid in the bed 2 minutes longer. I'm mad at the traffic, but then it's like, yo, I send out a text in the group text and like, yo, I need to see you. Like if y'all energy's up, it can turn my whole day around.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think that's a big thing, man, too. Like as an entrepreneur, but you know what I mean, just as an individual as well, man. Your circle, man. You like whenever one of us is going through something, man, and that come through the group text, like, yo, I just need to, be with the fellas.
Yes, sir.
I mean, like, I don't
That's
care.
like putting the bat signal.
Yeah, it's like, I
Oh,
don't care what's going
Thundercats.
on. Like, we gotta show up to that because
Right.
we don't know if it's just something light or if it's
Right.
something super heavy.
Right.
And in our cases, because we so, headstrong as, individuals, when one of us put that in the group text, we already know that's like 911.
Yes, sir.
Because anything other than 911, we feel as though we can handle it. So, that positive, circle around you is definitely valued to, how you move and,
So
just
get
the things.
some love, man.
Yeah, I just need to get rid some love, dude. You know what I mean? And it's the truth, man, because for real, you deal with a lot in everyday life, man, as
Right.
black men,
Right.
entrepreneurs, fathers, having significant others, man, like you deal with a lot, man, and sometimes nobody understands you like your fellas, man. You know what I mean? And it's like even if you might be wrong, you can vent to your fellas like, and after you vent, the fellas might be like, yo, you was wrong. You know what I mean?
Case in point, Offset.
Yeah.
We gonna hype you, but quietly we gonna tell you
Yeah,
you're wrong.
we gonna tell you, like,
You know what I mean?
you wrong, and you got go rectify that. But at this moment, we gonna make it. What it's supposed to be.
Right.
We gonna show you some love, B. But at the end of the day, you gotta go back and you gotta fix that, whatever it is.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But you gotta have that strong core, positive. Circle of people around you, man, and
Right.
everybody can be a part of that circle. I think that's what we fail to realize a lot of times, man, that all love ain't good love and all love ain't the right love.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Because you an average. Matter of fact, what y'all think about that term? You an average of the 3 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, I think that's like they say. Like if you show me who you hang with, I can show you who you are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's a lot of
That was
times.
heavy, wasn't it?
It's-
Boulders.
Yeah.
Trust.
But a lot of times it's the truth, man. Because if you take somebody's circle and you look at their circle and you dissect their circle and you ain't said nothing to the individual, themselves, by the time you talk to them, you already pretty much know what you need to know.
Right.
Oh, what about the people that What about people that are just around? What about the people that kind of like shine and kind of doing all the right things? You know what I'm saying? But they're still in the midst of like that company that they really need to get away from. I know people like that too. So it's hard to say you're an average of the type of person, like the people that you're around.
Well, you really are, because one or
So-
two things is going to happen. Either you going to big them up and they going to get on, the level that you on, or they going to pull you down.
Right.
But either way, your circle going to go one or two ways. It's going to go up or it's going to go down. You know what I mean? Like if I'm a basketball player or, something of, status, and my team is around me and we all from the same neighborhood, grew up the same way. If I'm not putting my team on to something to get better, prime example, LeBron James and his squad.
Right.
Look at him. At the end of the day, he the athlete, he the success, but he put his boys in a position to say, listen, if we gonna run together, then y'all gotta be able to bring something to the table to help me continue to grow as well as y'all grow.
Right.
They went to school, Ivy League degrees. Now, they got sports management, company. They making big moves in the NBA. And a lot of times, when he making his decision, he go and sit down because he don't got to consult with nobody, but he still consult with his team because he respect them as his team and what they bring to the table because they bringing something to the table. But if your core or your circle ain't doing nothing, all they doing is leeching off of you, eventually what's going to happen is you going to realize, man, look, I'm coming to the end. And I can't keep, letting these jokers, eat off of me because I ain't going to have nothing to go sit down with when it's all said and done. So you're going to eventually break away from them because you understand, man, I've been carrying these jokers for 5, 10, 15 years and now I'm at the end and they still ain't doing nothing but living in my cribs, driving my cars, taking money out of my pocket.
That was AI homies.
Yeah. So either your circle going to elevate because you making them elevate, and if a joker don't want to elevate with you, then they ain't the right person for you. I don't care how long we've been friends.
Right.
You know
That
what
was AR Ab too, right?
I wasn't really big on his story.
No, that ain't history. That's a rapper.
No,
Go ahead,
I
AR.
said his story.
Oh yeah. I heard. What I say, what?
Yeah.
Ain't that old? But yeah, I think he was sleeping on Cassidy's couch for a while. Something like that. I don't know all the details or whatever, but that's kind of like what Doc was saying on the notes too. He was saying like, you know, two types of distractions. You got the ones that bring you down, and then the other ones that motivate you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got that team. But to answer what you were saying, Nas, like I think like there's an anomaly to any situation, right? Like, you know, there's always gonna be that one or two, like, but they account for a small portion of people who excel differently. Like there's some people, it don't matter who you around, what you around, who you are, what you are, they're gonna be where they're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a lot of people aspire to be that, you know what I mean? And that's like a hashtag life goal. But the truth of the matter is the average cat ain't out here moving in that manner. Most people gonna be
The average.
yeah.
Yeah, the numbers already support that
Right.
majority of the people is going to be average. But I mean, you can definitely be part of that 10 and 5%.
Certainly.
It's a lot of work to to be part of it. I mean, it's a discipline, it's a sacrifice, it's a grind, it's a hustle, it's a no distractions. It's everything that we talk about, man, in order for you to get to that 10%. Because, man, listen.
And opportunity though.
Yeah.
Like, cause part of like it don't matter how much you prepared, if you're not prepared at the right time,
Yeah.
then that's a factor. You know what I mean? Like, so, cause I remember when I was like in the first part where I was looking at getting promoted in the Marine Corps to the staff SEO ranks, and I had the perfect record. I missed the cutoff by like a month, and then I found out once it went up, then they had adjusted the dates. But they adjusted the dates slightly enough, but not enough. So it's like one of them situations where I was super prepared, super qualified, right? But it wasn't the right time. It didn't matter. The board never saw my package. You know what I mean? Like I just missed it. So I think luck plays a role in it, no matter how much we want to, swing it.
It's funny.
It's like if Jay hadn't sold that Coke on that day, that Saturday stopped. I just had to do that. But like, you never know. Like if Obama didn't get that speech in that one particular manner where he really sold people on change, right? If that one speech didn't ever occur, would things have gone the same way type of deal? Like you just never, it's a lot of factors that come into play.
So you consider that change to be luck?
No. I consider that, all right, so look, say Obama delivered that speech, but nobody heard it.
Okay.
Because of the timing was off. He didn't have the proper audience. He shot his shot too early, right? I'm just saying that if the timing was off, the effect would not have been the same. So there's an aspect that you can put everything in that you got as far as preparation, right? But you still got to be prepared at that time.
And that's all luck is.
Right. So there is, just understand, like, there's a portion of it,
like hitting the game when it's shot.
yeah. Exactly. It's a lot of
a portion of it is preparation,
right,
but then another portion of it is luck.
right.
I mean, just the right time, right moment, right look.
Right.
I mean, then the outcome can change.
But a basketball player never blamed that on luck. You gonna say, I've been preparing my whole life for this shit.
Yeah, he going to.
That's cool.
But the fact
But then I would argue back and I'd have been like, but the last time you shot that same shot, it didn't go in. All right, my G. So you still was preparing your whole life. It just so happened at this time the wind speed was proper.
that
right?
or the fact that the defender got there slightly
right, exactly.
after.
Exactly.
You got the shot off, so you had a
Right.
better look this time versus the last time.
Yeah.
So
Timing, it plays a role.
once again, it all goes
Right.
back in the timing.
It's a variable like that's gonna always be in them situations that you can't account for.
I feel like I should have a big chain right now.
So a lot of times, a lot of successful people, like I heard Bill Gates, I heard Warren Buffett, I heard Tony Robbins, I heard a lot of successful people say, luck is just the more educated they are, the luckier they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? They feel as though it goes hand in hand.
Right.
I mean, that they was educated enough to be able to understand that this was an opportunity that
Yes,
they
sir.
jumped on, and so it turns into.
Yeah.
So
you start having the ability to see out opportunities.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, whereas though some people just look at it like you always at the right moment at the right time, that's luck.
Right.
But you looking at it like I actually created that right moment in that right time. You know what I mean? For it to work in my favor.
So that's
I think luck is something you can't control.
right.
I think preparation. I get the concept. But
So let me just give you this.
I think luck is like.
Can you win the lottery without buying a ticket?
But that's not luck, though.
No, but follow me on it. It is. It's luck of the draw. But you got to be prepared by purchasing that ticket. You purchase the ticket, that's the preparation, but then you still sit there and wait on the luck. You hope your number gets called. That's all the lottery is. Like, for everything, you're going to have to do something, and then it's going to be a little bit of a wait. We'll go this route with the, so you got this situation where,
So Jessica just said coincidence versus luck. So is hitting the lottery a coincidence or is it luck?
no, so hitting the lottery is luck. It's definitely probability, but you got to play to win. Now, in the same manner, so like say, there's things you can do to create your luck, right? I don't disagree with that. So maybe if you just happen to know homie that work in the lottery machine that got a way to rig it where he knows like, all right, look, this on the printouts, this is the most popular number. So keep playing this number and eventually it's gonna come up again because mathematically, like something like that. Like you can create your own luck like
You're
that.
going to
Or like
jail
Bill
for
Cosby.
that. Ask
Right.
Martha Stewart.
But
You're
look,
going to jail.
So I agree with you, but I want you to know, like, think about it, right? Like, it's the same concept. Like, you could become a millionaire by luck, right? But you ain't gonna become no billionaire by luck.
You're going
It's
to jail.
something you did to make that happen.
Mr. Nelson, you're going
Sure.
to jail.
I mean, I ain't going to jail. I don't play lotto.
If you know the boy that's rigging the machines.
No, I don't know the boy that's
You
rigging the
just
machine.
said you know it.
I said if you know. I ain't going to jail. You know what I mean? I can check my financials. I don't buy lotto tickets.
That's what Martha Stewart did.
Yeah, no, Martha Stewart, she did a little insider trading. It's a little bit
It was the
different.
same thing.
Same concept. I
Protect
agree.
your money.
Yeah, I agree. But see, with me, if I know the boy that does the lotto machine and I win, I didn't hurt nobody. Martha Stewart, she was responsible for profiting off of people that lost their severance and retirement
Man,
packages.
ain't got nothing. Listen.
She should have went to jail. She deserved what she got,
They said move your bread or you're gonna lose it.
and she moved it.
Right.
Right, but
That
she had an unfair advantage to move her bread that nobody else had.
She's
And
lucky.
she profited off
She's
of it.
lucky to have friends that are looking out for her. That's luck.
And so there we go. And I got lucky with boy that told me that if I play this number, it's the one that comes up the most and then I win.
It ain't the same.
That's luck. But I created by luck.
Yeah, that's a coincidence.
Okay, I'll go with it.
So that brings me to my next point, taking the easy way out. Do y'all feel as though as entrepreneurs, a lot of times people look for the easy way out on things?
Right.
Yes. But that I feel like that's human nature though. I don't think there's no way around that. I don't know if you instinctively have the ability to not take the easiest route when you see low hanging fruit.
You've been saying that line all week, man.
What, low hanging fruit?
Yo, all week.
I'm in my low hanging fruit line.
I understand it's Monday and it's typically the beginning of the week, but I've heard it all week.
Right.
So explain. I mean, give me some like the easy way out, man.
All right,
Like,
so for example, if making all things equal, take out pride-driven decisions, right? If you see two opportunities passing by you, right? And you know one of them is closer where you could just reach out and grab that joint, or the other one, you know, it's a little bit further away. You could reach out and grab it, and it may be a better opportunity, but it's more work. 9 times out of 10, you instinctively, you gonna go for the easy kill. I want to eat today. You know what I mean? Like that's the same thing you saw when, you know, that slow buffalo in the herd. Got him. You know what I mean? The lions know that. They purposely go after them. Like it's not by mistake. Survival of the fittest, Darwinism is real.
so you saying is it's just in us. It's part of what we are.
I'm
Who
saying
we
that
are.
if we got an easy kill, we going for it. Nobody want to work harder for their lunch than what they have to. Nobody.
Notch, what's your take, Notch?
Man, you know, I think that I've actually learned, man, nobody is exempt from the work required, you know what I'm saying, to really make things happen. And 9 times out of 10, when you think you took the easy way out, you probably shorted yourself. So,
I mean, that's possible, but meanwhile, while y'all waiting around for the big fish, I'm gonna go ahead and grab up all these little joints and start selling them.
I think that's just some wisdom that you acquired that might be useful to you, man. But a lot of people just gonna end up stuck with
No fish at all.
They go because you settled,
Right.
you settled, man. You ain't really.
So would you say, using Drew's same analogy, I mean, grabbing up all the little fish, I mean, while, you know, others might be waiting for that big fish, does it now hinder you because now every time you go there, you looking for the little fish instead of, I mean, you know, actually working to get that big fish? Do you think now it becomes a part of your, you know, your characteristics of what you choose to do now? You're always looking for, I mean, all right, I'll take the little fish, I mean, just to get in and get out.
Absolutely. That's like a Chester High. We know what we gotta do to pass for that year, and no more, no less.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like senior year, when you know, the matter of fact, they changed the credit requirements actually.
Yeah, they did.
Man, when I was a senior, so I was basically done with the exception of like a couple classes, and like, all right, I'm gonna pass, and then I'm gonna write this little paper or whatever like that.
Right.
So,
Because you at that point you didn't want to work harder for your lunch than what you already had to. You already knew you was in there.
yeah,
So it's like any work I do from here forward, for what?
yeah, but see, all right, so again, like you said, like the anomaly and all that,
Yeah.
or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Now I look at other people, you know what I'm saying, that's just getting by. You know what I'm saying? We're getting by now, you know what I'm saying? We just
doing enough.
The majority of my classmates, you know what I'm saying, we all just turned 30 this year. And you know, man, every time me in my class, like no knock to my class or whatever like that, nobody, but you know, when it's time to band together to do things like the reunions and this, that, and the third, like, you know what I'm saying, like, people not prepared for stuff like that, like little $65 tickets and this,
Where
that,
you
and the
graduated?
third. I graduated in 2006.
Right. But I also feel like,
but you know
Where
what I'm
you
saying?
graduated?
04.
same.
Yeah, not too far off or whatever like that, but you know, like this whole like just make me feel like yo, it's kind of like playing for 10 years, man. Like you didn't think you was gonna be 30,
Right.
and
But I feel like that's more attributed to the distraction portion of it than a mentality.
the
Right.
distractions too. Nah, because it's like
Because you doing it now, right? Like now you understand and you see the value in getting out there and grinding and building and trying to level up. Because that's really all you really need. Once you understand the concept of go out there and get the kill, right? From there, you just need to set your sights higher and bigger each time. If you keep on looking at the same type of thing that you already conquered, that means you're content. But if that works for you, and if it works for that individual, who are we to say that's wrong?
I kind of already knew though. I was more so, I was that person that I was talking about, like,
Right.
You know, when you in different company or whatever like that. So it was more for me about getting my footing, and I had to go through certain things or whatever like that and get burnt in different situations to be like, yo, I'm not going that way.
Right.
And then you know you learn in different stuff
Absolutely.
like that. You know, I'm reading. I feel like reading and being having different experiences and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
I don't really know a lot of people that just pick up a book for leisure, for
Right.
pleasure. You know what I'm saying? To learn things, and they kind of build. But that's small fish mentality, man. I can't really sign on to that.
I got you.
It's like, honestly, for real, I mean, not to go back to the Powerball situation, but I don't play the Powerball until it's like well up there.
Right.
Because it's like, if I hit that joint, if I hit it for 20 million, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh man, 20 million ain't it. I'm saying my eyes is always focused on that big fish. So like I don't even pay it no mind until it start to get up 200 million, 300 million. Now it didn't grab my attention to now it's like, all right, it's time for me to start playing because now I'm looking at the possibility of me winning 200 million versus that 20 million. You know what I mean? And I know that it has the potential to get up to, you know what I mean, crazy amounts of money. You know what I mean? You know, we all done seen it and reached $1 billion, you know what I mean, not too long ago. So it's like,
Now follow me on this though, because I see what you're saying, but I wanna bridge the gap. So like where you got the whole thing with the young played until they get to 200 or 300 million. Now keep in mind, just a couple of years ago is when they added that extra digit. Previous to that, it never really made it that high. If you had won the lottery, because you was focused on winning the lottery 15 years ago when it wasn't getting that big and it wasn't popping like that, if you had won the lottery then, right, and took that money as seed money and built it and grew it, 15 years later, you probably in a position where you're not worried about winning the lottery. And that was all from a small fish.
Yeah.
But then now if you sitting around waiting until the lottery get big, you done wasted 15 years of money and capital and all of that. And I think that same concept can apply in business. You could sit around and don't move until you get that one big goal, or you could start out with that little ass brick and flip it. And flip it again. And flip it again.
That's still like a different mental process going on.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree. But it's more than one way to skin a cat. So, I mean, going after the big fish is cool, but don't down the guy that's going after the little fish, because he might go get that little fish 10 or 15 times before you get your big fish. And dollar for dollar and pound for pound, 15 little fish may equal more than one big fish.
Matt, no, I had a friend, and it was kind of like a joke, a serious joke. It was like, man, I ain't trying to get no better job. Like, I ain't trying to lose my Section 8.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You get used to having these small fishes and all that type of stuff like that. Like, it can hinder you because you could always get them small fish.
Right.
I agree with what you're saying, Drew. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? In the sense of what I was talking about, because I ain't been playing the Powerball. I think I might have just started playing it when they added that double digit, because that's when it
started appealing to me.
Yeah, that's when it started appealing to me. But I mean, in the same process, I was always looking for that, like, what is the next move I need to be working on to get that type of money. But here's the thing with me is how I look at it, like, all right, well, I'm working to, get to that money. If here go a big pot of money you already put together for me, and all I got to do is play $2 to potentially get it, man, listen, take 20, and I'm gonna check the numbers, in the morning to see if, I won that. And I ain't got to grind as hard as I was to get to that 200 million because I just won it. You know what I mean? So my mind ain't, once again, like I said, I'm still going to take the little steps, but my mind is always focused on that big fish.
And I'm just trying to tell you, man, if you like it at 8, then you'll love it at 4. And by using cost averaging, 6 is still good all day. What does that mean? Meaning you can get it at X point, right? And you can go after and get it and grind it. But if you can get it cheaper and it still gets you to the same dollar at the end of the day, you're not going to spend it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's all I want to know. Understand, it don't matter how you get there. It could be a big fish or it could be 10 small fish. Get there.
But your mentality is fixed. Like, you still finding a way to get to that big fish.
Right.
And not just settling for that small fish.
If you want pride.
Right.
If you want pride. Because if you really just care about the results, you don't care whether you get 1 big fish or 10 small fish.
No, but see, they could, you know what I'm saying, accumulate all the small fish and compound.
So what's your take?
But I'm just taking it from the concept of 10 pounds of feathers and 10 pounds of bricks. Right? Like, you waiting around for 10 pounds of bricks, and I'm cool with just going up and grabbing 10 times the amount of feathers that I can get super fast.
Because in your mind,
'Cause I'm still getting 10 pounds. Not in my mind, in all actuality. And I have no competition because it's a bunch of cats out here waiting for the 10 pounds of bricks because they think it's heavier.
But that doesn't make you super comfortable?
You said, does it make me super comfortable?
Slower. Okay,
Nah.
so
Because then, now, once you get that, then you just
So-
set your sights on what's next.
so what pushes your greatness?
Pride.
No, because you're content on catching small fish. So if I don't think excuse me, I don't think there's no easy way out.
I don't either.
Easy way out get you in the building,
Yeah.
but it don't get you in the Raptors.
Okay.
It doesn't make you great. So small fish are cool, but you got to realize that at some point, even like stages getting to the league, at one point you were the best player in high school.
Right.
Another point you were probably the best player on your college team.
Right.
And that got you in the building.
Right.
But then you got super comfortable.
Right.
You did all the small fish stuff. Now how do you become great?
Right.
Then you just become content with just catching small fish all the time.
Would you say Magic Johnson at every point in his career was ever the greatest player in the NBA?
Player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was at one point in his career?
I believe so, yeah.
Which point?
I don't know the year, but it was before MJ came into the league.
Okay. And there was nobody else in the league better than him?
And what he did? No.
No. In general, like LeBron, like right now, if you say who's the best player in the league, you're not gonna break it down by position. You're gonna say LeBron. You're not gonna say he's the best center or forward.
Me personally, I would say it's arguably between LeBron and KD.
Fair.
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is, saying that Jordan was at one point the greatest player to live. Can you make that same statement about Magic Johnson?
Yeah, because Magic Johnson in his era before Jordan and all them, he's won. I don't know if nobody else has done it, but I know he holds the record for winning the championship at every position from 1 to 5. That's a great thing that many people can't and won't be able to say. You know what I mean? So for him to win it at every position in his era, the next person up to to him in his era was Larry Bird.
Gotcha.
That I'm talking about what's I'm trying to say?
Accolades
and accomplishments in that time frame. Larry Bird was the next person because it was always Lakers and Boston that was going and grabbing championships.
And depending on who you ask, they could say Larry Bird was better, or they could say
because that's just
Magic
preference
Johnson
of opinion.
wasn't like a definitive great.
Magic
greatest.
Johnson. No, he wasn't a defensive.
No, definitive, like where it's clear. Like he wasn't a clear greatest. Like whereas Jordan, nobody's gonna argue that.
Yeah, nobody's gonna argue Jordan
because at the time of Magic Johnson, he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
All right, so that's where I'm going with this, right? But now, fast forward, even though Magic Johnson was never the greatest basketball player, right? He still took his positions, and then now he's built himself up to where the greatest basketball player is now modeling himself after the same exact thing that Magic Johnson did, but all Magic Johnson did was go out and get small fish. My man was getting movie theaters when people wasn't nobody thinking about getting no damn movie theater, but he did.
That was after basketball.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, how you could take these little small fish, and now Magic Johnson is the GM of the Lakers, and he's a mogul. His name is mentioned with the greatest. But he did it by, he didn't have a single great deal like Dre, where he signed a $4 billion deal. Magic ain't had that. But he had a whole bunch of smaller deals.
He had to learn something about what he was getting.
No, I'm just trying to make the point that where you can still get the greatness.
That makes sense.
By going after smaller fish. It doesn't have to be a one and done. You can work the process over time. And at the end of the day, if Magic got a belly, and Jay got a belly, and Dre got a belly, they all billionaires. Dre got the big fish, Jay got a whole bunch of fish, and Magic was focused and got a bunch of small fish and built them in. But at the end of the day, they all got a bunch of fish in their storehouse. Every one of them. And Magic don't have no huge shark. Like Dre Beats got from that. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, they all spending. They all swiping the same black card.
Gotta be value in the fish.
Right. So I'm just saying, change your perspective and stop focusing on the flashy shit all the time. Because it's money out here to be made on the smaller stuff. And you can still get to that same instinct.
One stop checkers.
We sit here, we worried about the big fish. But you could still eat with a bunch of regular ass fish and build up a big ass ocean.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's time.
So that's our show for the night. I hope, as always, man, y'all was able to take something from it, learn something from it. Just to give a quick recap on the show, we talked about the power of positive attitude, taking the easy way out, getting rid of distractions. You know what I mean? The things that comes with, just in general life, business, individuals. So as always, Monday nights, JR Kicks, Keys to Success, CMP Radio, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Hope to see y'all next Monday. We'll have another hot topic that we'll be arguing, debating, talking about. You never know. Yeah. As always, man, I'm with my guys, VP of Business Development, Ron Alexander.
Yo.
You had a lag there?
Yo.
VP of Business Operation, Andrew Nelson.
Yo, New Year's Eve party. Come on, get
Oh,
your
yo.
tickets. You know what I mean? Like, get rid of them distractions that's called excuses and go ahead and grab these tickets. You know what I mean? We got a little bit more left. And also, get that positive energy and stop talking about $40 is too much. Because it's all you could eat, all you could drink.
All inclusive.
Three different rooms, all inclusive. New Year's Eve in a safe environment. You're not beating that. Nowhere.
At all.
Harlem
Spend
Nights.
your money in your community. Harlem Nights. Come through.
Harlem Nights theme. If you ain't got no Harlem Nights, man, that don't mean we turning you away. It's just, you know what I mean? We
Right.
prefer to see everybody in the 19th.
You come up like the Bronx, we gonna let you in.
Yeah.
But you still from the Bronx and home.
Because we understand it's Christmas time, and I mean, you gotta go hard for the baby. So if you gotta grab something out of the closet and throw it on, man, we welcome that too. Just
And
make
you
it
come
look
as
good.
Brooklyn, old Brooklyn, not that new shit.
My VP of audio, DJ Naj B.
Yeah.
Me, Mr. JR Kicks, man. We see y'all next Monday, man.